This Sunday. Every Sunday. Side by side at the microphone, from the green light to the speed trap, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here! Relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gasp at mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands for the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Carino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Sunday!
But I have an old jalopy and it's losing all the joint. Well, it really needs a muffler, not to mention all the floating points. Well, it sure
yeah, all muffles are points. They're frozen, they're rusty, they're creaky and crackly. But you know what? They're ours, and now they're yours because you've tuned in to Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show here on the island of Long with your hosts, Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. Good to see you back, Chris.
Thank you, my brother, and strap on those boots because we don't know what we're going to be stepping into for the next hour, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I'd like to thank Brian. Hey, Mackelman Brian, doing a fantastic job filling in for my boots, if you want to call it.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I want to thank Brian. He did a spectacular job, and the show was great. I was listening as usual because I'd like to hear what's going on at all times.
You want to learn about your car?
Well, someone else's car.
We can do that. We can do that.
Sure.
Yeah. No, Brian is always a great stand-in. He always has good things to talk about, good stories. And, you know, people have asked about that. Like, hey, how do I learn more about Mackelman Brian? I said, well, you know, he does have some social media stuff, but he's not super, super active. He's a busy guy.
He is.
So I tell people, you know, come over to Thursday nights on Plane and Traffic where you can hear the extended version, because invariably what we talk about there comes here, and what we talk about here goes there a lot. So
right, I like the fact that we're the headlines, and the Thursday show is the crux. You guys get into it.
Well,
you get into the details, the nuts and bolts, and the things like that.
Well, that's the thing when you have literally an unlimited time schedule. You know, we're on a it's a video podcast. What would you call that? I mean, it's it's an internet based show like this,
right?
Although not on a network. So a podcast is an audio recording. Like this show becomes a podcast later,
right?
But where right now it is a live terrestrial radio show, and you can also see it on YouTube because we do put it up on 2 channels. And this week, Motormouth Video.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. No, it was Motormouth. Yeah, Motormouth Radio surpassed Motormouth Video this week with the views from last week's show. So again, those are the 2 channels, Motormouth Radio and Motormouth Video on YouTube. So this show, when it goes up on YouTube now, becomes, I guess it's a podcast.
I guess you would say.
Even though there's video, or is it a video cast? I don't know.
I like to call it same day coverage.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then we put it up on. We're also on Spreaker. That goes up today as well. And Performance Motorsports Network, I think, is still playing our stuff, right?
They are. They still prod me for content.
Yeah. So
on occasion.
And of course, if you want to be part of it all, you can call 516-572-7440. Follow us on Motormouth Radio on Facebook, _Motormouth Radio on Instagram, and Motormouth Radio on X, and that's where we put our stuff. So listen, I didn't get to talk to you for 2 weeks, so you missed out.
No, I missed you.
I got to do another car inspection, this time on a 77 Corvette.
Oh,
which is interesting.
Rubber bumpered.
Yeah. So those cars are starting to come back up. I mean, it was under $10,000. The seller said, why somebody even sending someone to do this? What's, I don't understand. It's under like $8,000. I'm like, I know, but people don't want to be bit. They want, they want to know.
Still $8,000 is still a lot of money.
Sure. So that was fun. This week, last week, 3 carburetor jobs came through in 1 week. I was
Wow.
working last we spoke. I was telling you I did work on our friend Rick's the 72 454 Corvette carburetor, which
Right.
I couldn't fix.
Yeah, because you said it had a problem with the air jets. I think
I had a couple problems.
yeah, there was like you pulled it out from the bottom of a river or something, the way it
Yeah.
was all seized up.
The last guy had made some mistakes. So on Stan from the Corvette Society, on Stan's request, behest, he told Rick about a guy in Jersey he's a quadrijet specialist, and Rick sent it out, and the guy they did it. I saw it. I installed it on the car this week, and the car runs great. So
Ah,
it just goes to show you this. I felt like Kenny from Wrenching with Kenny Wessel was said like,
mhm.
listen, yeah, I know a lot of stuff about these things, but I obviously don't know it all. Because I said, if there's a guy who could fix this, he's better than me. Well, he is better
Mhm.
than me because he fixed it. So,
Right.
and I told Rick, I said,
Yeah.
Rick, you know what I want to do? I want to just, I want to take this thing apart and I want to see inside. I want to see. And I
You
spared
want
him
to see
the,
what they did.
I spared him the trouble. I didn't. But I went to his house to put it on the car, and
Right.
we needed another base gasket because Rick had a metal plate, which is like a heat insulating plate,
Okay.
and one base gasket. And I explained anytime you have one of those plates, there's got to be a fiber gasket and then the metal plate and then another fiber. You can't put the carburetor on the metal plate because it won't seal. Metal on metal isn't going to
Right.
seal.
Metal on metal. Yeah, you're still going to get a vacuum leak here and
Yeah.
there.
And
Sure.
I said, of course, at home, I have a Tupperware bin with probably 40 base gaskets. And this was in the afternoon when the bus traffic was going on and all that. So we took a drive up into town to it used to be a hot speed shop back in the day. This place is still there. It's Don J in Oceanside. And I said, let's just go buy a base gasket. They didn't have any base gaskets in stock. He says, no, we don't.
What?
He goes, no one comes in for them. I'm like, wow. So, I mean, that
Oh my God. What the heck did they have in stock? What?
a lot of cleaners and fluids. I'm just throwing it out there because this is a topic for later for another show. How auto parts stores I had a lot of trouble getting parts for different jobs in the last couple months for my own car. This is
believe it.
another case where, yeah, you just can't roll in and get a quadrijet gasket anymore because guys aren't stocking them. Why? Because people aren't working on quadrijets.
I had that problem twice in the last 2 weeks. The
Did you?
same exact problem. And I had to order both of them online. One of them was something, Ray, I have not done. And I think over 40 years, over
Yeah.
40 years, I don't think I did this job until yesterday. I changed the high beam headlight in the Chrysler.
Okay.
So we're talking about a round, 7-inch round, high beam headlight. Not even a low beam, a high beam. When was the last time you did that?
I have, but let's not go there. So
Right, that's right, because you have the GTO. Well, I haven't had a round headlight car with a bulb going out in I can't tell you how long.
okay.
So yeah, this was hysterical to me, because I'm like, you put yourself back into those early '80s thoughts. You go, oh yeah, I'll just go down to the aid store on the
Yeah.
corner and pick up a 5005 7-inch round high beam, for, a Sylvania special for $3,
Right.
$4, $5. Oh no,
Right. No.
that does not fly.
No.
Oh, now you had to order the thing, and mind you, go look for one. They're like getting like hen's teeth.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first thing. The second thing is duplicolor paint.
Okay.
Remember when you used to walk into an auto parts store and there'd be a rack of duplicolor paints in small cans or in the brush, little
Yeah.
bottle brush, like
Yeah.
a nail polish brush
Uh-huh.
bottle, so you can put duplicolor on your car. No, that doesn't fly anymore. Now you have just straight colors. You have a yellow, a blue, a red, and that's it.
Actually,
That's
the
it.
store by me still has the old racks because they're a little old school, and they would have the store right by me that we talk about. They would have the quadrijet gasket too. So there are places
Right.
that do, but like we talked about many times, when those places go away, that's it. They're gone.
There's nothing going to replace them. It's the
I know.
truth.
So
Nothing going to
I
replace
did.
them.
Because of with all the parts maladies I had, I finally did get my Pontiac back on the road, and I took it out to an event yesterday. It's finally
I
out of
saw the
garage again.
pictures. Yeah.
I was waiting for the steering wheel adapter that I had to buy. That was a lot of money, but had to do it. And the interior is done. It's great. I changed the dash to the engine turned dash, which I love. The new
Right, because
carpet
you had
is
the
in.
wood grain styled,
Yeah, I
right?
had wood grain. The new carpet is in. It looked great. Tilt wheel is in. Thank God I need it. And the seats are in. But the problem is,
Uh-oh.
and the electric fan conversion that I showed you, the sensor that Paul and I had worked on a couple weeks
Does
ago.
it work?
Yes, it works. It works. You don't even hear it. I mean, I want to put an LED on my gauge panel to know when it's on because you don't know.
That's great.
The brushless fans are that good. It's everything in a bag of chips that they say they are. Unbelievable.
Yeah, when
And
you
I
just
don't
hear
even.
when you just hear the air moving, that's cool.
I mean, the thing's got a 70 amp. It's on a 70 amp breaker. You don't even see the volt gauge dip when the thing comes on,
Wow.
because it starts at a soft start. So the technology is there. I mean, let's face it. It cost $1,000 to do this fan conversion.
Holy moly.
It did. It's a lot of money, but
And the time, if you think about
and the
how many
time.
hours have you
Right.
invested in
Right.
this?
Well, in this case, I feel I did get what I paid for, so that's good. So I can live with that. I'm okay with that. Just give me what I want, what I'm paying for, and I'll be okay. There were a lot of problems along the way that had to be solved. Next problem along the way is big marks up on the fan, not so much on the seat change in the car.
Oh,
The seats look great because they're Pro Car bolstered with the Pontiac logo.
yeah.
My head is touching the headliner. What I mean,
No way.
I have to duck my head to Mike. I saw Mike and Mike Jr. yesterday. Mike could not get in the car. He's because he's taller than me, bigger in all directions. I'm not a big guy. I have to duck my head to get in. When I sit in there, my head's touching the headliner and I'm looking down at everything.
Holy smokes.
And I knew this was going to be a problem. I just didn't know how it was going to manifest driving wise.
It got over padded.
No, it's not even this. It's not. Well, okay, it probably is the seats, but the problem is the seat brackets, the bracket that mounts on the floor, the ones that I had to send back because they were wrong and all of that.
Right.
They have a rise to them off the floor, about an inch.
Okay.
That's got to be down to like nothing. So I either
Yeah, it's
have to
gotta sit
take that
flush.
rise, section them like a body of a car, section it, drop it down, and re-weld them to make it shorter.
Oh, for
Or-
God's sake. Really?
Or I have to remake those legs. I have to do something because the seat is just too high. It's too. It's comfortable. It'll be great once I'm down in a lower position. So,
Right.
again, no project is. I was talking to actually a Nassau County cop. I cut through Hempstead Lake State Park yesterday, and they had a bunch of offices there stopped. They had an event going on. So one guy pokes his head in the window. He's like, "Hey, this is great." He goes, "What year is this?" And I said, "Should I be a real and say 2025?" No, it's 1965. He's like, "Oh, cool, great car." So we just chatting a little bit.
Right.
And then he was, I said, "Yeah, you got a car? You work on something?" And he was a younger guy. And he says, "No," you're going to think I'm crazy if I tell you what I want. I said, "No, listen, dude, everything's open. Tell me." He goes, "I want to rebuild my Wrangler." I said, "Oh, excellent. A lot of support for the Wrangler." So I said, "You know what? I got something for you." And I did something every cop loves to see. I opened my glove box. I mean, if you open a glove box, a console, let me open my trunk for you, officer.
I thought maybe you were going to say you had a box of donuts in the back or something.
No, I gave him a Motor Mouth Radio card, and I said, "We broadcast tomorrow. Listen to the show. If you feel so inclined, call in." So I didn't catch your name, but if you are out there listening, we'd love to hear from you at 516-572-7440. And we'll talk about the Wrangler, because any project is a good project. It's good for the hobby, good for the industry. It's good for everybody.
And it is amazing how, as you and I get older, we realize that those cars in the 80s are now pushing 30, 40 years old.
Right, right.
And it's amazing because I always go back and think to myself, when we were kids, in the 80s, in the 70s, a 30 or 40-year-old car, like some of them probably started with a crank. We're talking about cars that were in the they were in the 40s.
Yeah,
the late 30s, early 40s. I mean, they weren't started with a crank, but they certainly were the generation after those cars.
I'll tell you what else starts with a crank: the phone. So we'll go to the phone.
Yeah.
Hi, caller. You're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hey guys, gentlemen, how we doing?
Hey, Bob, what's up?
Robert.
That's right. So I got two short ones for you. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, that sounds
One
pretty
is
spiffy.
we're on the Taconic. We're coming down about a month ago to Taconic. We're up in Killington.
Yeah.
And my daughter notices front end issue with her Honda. She's smart enough to pull off And she goes to her phone, and she finds a shop, actually, that was open. And I ran into two brothers in Poughkeepsie, Middle Eastern gentlemen, that did right by my daughter.
Right.
They didn't jerk her around, and they found. So I was able to get to her, and when I get there, they have a lift with a training support on a car already on the lift. I said, "Oh man, I'm going to be here for a while."
Yeah.
The guy does a road test. He comes back, doesn't jerk my daughter around. I pull up then. It's a lug nut issue, not a wing nut like Chris.
Okay. What happened with her lug nut?
It was a lug nut. The guy didn't jerk us around. Wasn't a wheel bearing. Wasn't an axle issue. And I can't thank those guys enough. So my daughter's going to school in Poughkeepsie. So on my next run up there, I'm gonna take care of those two brothers over in Poughkeepsie. And I got their card in case she's got an issue.
Very good. No, you know what? Yeah, you keep those guys and you use them and you give them work. That's very good, Bob. We agree.
It's nice. You're nice when you can tout an honest mechanic. That's great, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, come on. She's a young girl by herself. I mean, we have some coins. I mean, she's got some cash on her.
Right.
But they didn't jerk her around.
Good.
Right.
That's excellent. That's
Yeah. And you know what? Customers remember that, and they
were
bring them
raised
back.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
And it's great that she
absolutely.
was aware
And,
enough to notice it.
I couldn't thank those guys enough.
Yes. Very good. Well, you just did again publicly, and if they're out there, I'll have to give you some Motormouth Radio cards. You can hand them out like I do. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. And lastly, because I got to get in the car to go pick her up at the rail.
Right.
I want to hear the story about the 77 because the 77 is a favorite.
Oh.
Because it's the last year of that body style, and I want to hear about the manual. I want to hear about the L82. Then of course
it was an automatic.
Nice vehicle. That's a nice vehicle.
I'll tell you what. Get in touch with me offline because this guy buys and sells a lot of those generation Corvettes, and he has another one that's for sale as well. So I could put you in touch with him. He's only out in Huntington, so he's nearby.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Was the car clean and tight?
None of them are really perfect. Not for $7,900. Come on, you're not getting.
I get that.
I'll tell you this though, it was an original paint car, like that yellow color. He said, "Don't say it's not yellow." I don't know what they called it, some crazy color. And the paint didn't have any crazing or cracking like a lot of them do. It was in very good shape. The doors had a weird alignment issue. There was a lot of gap on the top to the fender and lower at the bottom, although the doors did open and close fine, and they didn't drop on the hinges. So
that sounds a little framey to me.
Well, so structurally it was okay, but there was a little bit of a wonk up there. And the interior, they always get beat up. The console was kicked and beat up. The driver's side door panel needs to be replaced. There was some levers and knobs missing and all. It needed some work, but definitely the car started right up and ran. And for under 10 grand, I think it's something that you could probably get into and fix up. And it didn't smoke, drip, leak. So I think it'd be a good driver.
Well, it sounds like a good driver. And for $8,900 or $10,000 for somebody to tool around in that, or maybe they even want to do some weekend stuff on it. But
right.
So yeah, I like that year.
Right.
Anyway, gentlemen, always a pleasure.
Yep. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes. So, yeah. So, like I was saying yesterday, big shout out to Stan and the boys at the Corvette Society. They had a Cars and Coffee yesterday, and I didn't think I was going to be able to go because I was scheduled to work on Eddie's 442. I was going to put a new carburetor on that car at the shop. And I wasn't going to be. I also wanted to go up to Gillen Interiors to go to his open house yesterday in upstate, and obviously you can't do all of it. But it wasn't until and Stan was looking at the turnout of like 30, 40 cars and said, he goes, I don't know what it is. He goes, like 5 guys will always reply that they're coming, and then 30 show up. I said, listen, I got to apologize too because I didn't know till like 9, 10 o'clock last night that I was able. I thought I was definitely out because I had to go work on this car. And then it ended up that, no, we're doing it next week. So I said, yeah, I'm one of them. I'm sorry, but. Yeah.
It's like all those people that threaten to call us during Motormouth Radio and never do.
Exactly. Exactly. Just
I'm
like
gonna
a
call.
caller,
I'm gonna call. You never hear from. Yeah.
well, just like a caller named Carrie, who, if he's listening, was supposed to send me an email during the week about a car he called in about, but
Yeah, can you tell me about this? What was going on last week? All this brouhaha.
well, I'll tell you, yes, Carrie called from West Hempstead talking about a motion Camaro that had been in his purview when he was a kid and that
Right.
he now owns and hasn't done anything with and wanted to advice on how to move the car forward. And I said, be glad to help him with that. I'd like
Oh,
to
yeah,
come,
who wouldn't?
I would like to come by. Well, even if it is just for advice. I mean, I'd like to give
Sure.
the guy good advice as I know it. And
Right.
I asked him to send me an email during the week so we could connect and talk, and because he's only in West Hempstead, and so far I haven't heard from him. So Carrie, if you are listening, call us
Yes.
back so that I can give you that information again, and then we
Yeah,
can.
exactly. Because I'm like, what happened when I was away? You
And
guys are getting calls with diamonds in the rough here. I
I tell
mean,
you something.
I need to know more about this.
Talk about call of the week. Everywhere I went this week, somebody asked me, "Hey, whatever happened with the guy with the motion Camaro? Did he call you?" No. Hey, what's good? Did you look at that come out? No, I didn't. Uh, Everybody wants to know because everybody's interested, and
Right.
when I know, you'll know. But
No, exactly. Yeah, we definitely want to know
yeah.
what's going on with that car,
Oh,
good or bad.
something else people want to know. Cliff wants to know what's up with two Motormouth Radio YouTube channels. So, okay, good question. We had originally,
Because we're double the amount of abuse. That's
right.
what.
Originally, Chris had set up the YouTube channel. It was Motormouth Radio because it
Right.
followed the name of the show, and it has the same logo as the show when you see it. And it didn't really go anywhere. It didn't have a lot of hits, but it had some. It had videos on it, and it had hits, and it had
Well,
impressions,
right.
it had all that.
The claim to fame was when I had mentioned to you about the sticky steering wheel on my Pathfinder way back, and we did a video on how to fix a sticky steering wheel problem. And I think the word sticky was the reason why we got like 9,000 hits on that
Right.
on that video. But the rest of them were mediocre at best. But
Yeah.
that
So
was
anyway,
the claim to fame there on that video channel.
but it had, it had some provenance. It had followers. It had
Right.
hits. It had all
Yep.
that stuff. So when we had our media consultant with us helping us out with stuff, he said, "Hey, we want to up the game and get more, more of that stuff." And the Motormouth Radio, I don't know. He made a channel called Motormouth Video and said,
Right.
now that's more succinct. We'll put the videos on that. I said, okay, that makes sense. And he wanted to transfer all the data from Motormouth Radio over to Motormouth Video, but he couldn't do it. YouTube wouldn't let him do it. So he said, okay. He says, for fear, I don't want to lose what you already have. So let's leave it there. And now we'll try and grow the new channel. Well, it ends up through the years now, the Motormouth Radio channel still gets more hits because I guess people know it than the Motormouth Video channel. Some weeks they're going neck and neck, and then one will pass the other, and some weeks one just is way above the. There's no rhyme or reason. But Cliff, that's
never
why
is.
we have them both. And when I upload the video this afternoon, I put it on both channels, so it's the same content on both channels, and then as well as Spreaker. So that's it in a nutshell.
Right. And I think it's a dandy idea, darn it. So
Well,
double the amount of fun.
I mean, so I get a message like, "Hey, you have 541 Facebook followers." I'm like, yay! I'm watching people get like 10,000
I know.
plaques and 100,000 plaques and 200,000.
Think about it. We don't have women in bikinis on this show.
No,
We're not
obviously
as popular as the Lithuanian show.
no,
So,
no.
we got a lot of strikes against us.
You would
We
think,
talk
though,
about cars,
you
and
know-
our listener base is growing old.
I know, right? But you would think that with real curated car content, stuff that we do ourselves, we're not
We do that.
we're not paraphrasing what other people do. We're reporting on what we do. That's the best kind of content because it's
I think it is.
firsthand,
Sure. I think it is. And yeah, we help people with their problems as well, which is not a big deal. I mean, it's
Right.
something I enjoy, and I've always said I've learned more on this program than I've actually advice I've passed along. So yeah, this has been a benefit to me as well.
So a couple things I want to mention here before we get to the bottom of the hour. Coming up
Okay.
on November 8th is that this Liars show, the model car show. Bob Jones heard me talking about it, and he told Jeff, and Jeff called me and said, "Hey, I heard you were talking about my show." I said, "Well, yeah, you asked me to. You sent me this. You sent me the thing, right?"
That's what we do here. That's why it's called a broadcast.
November 8th at the Freeport Rec Center in Freeport. That's 130 East Merrick Road. It's 9 to 4. It's only $5 to get in, and you'll have a lot of good stuff down there. And today, Bob asked me about this one. A girl came to the Oldsmobile Club meeting last month.
Yeah.
She's 21 years old with her own car. She's driving an Oldsmobile.
Good for her.
Not pretty, not finished. I think it's a 4-door with some rust, but she's doing a cruise night tonight. Unfortunately, I can't make it. It's called the Ratty Muscle Cars of something. Present to you. The thing got clipped off. It's a trunk or treat cruise night tonight. Today is the 19th, right? Yes, tonight.
Yes.
October 19th. Everybody meets at Captree State Park at 6 p.m. Then at 6:30, everybody's going to head out en masse, I guess, back up the Ocean Parkway, and they're going to cruise over to Burger City in East Meadow, which is a great burger joint. I've been there. Been there with the G-Body Club. And then you can hang out and whatever. It says if you're feeling funky, wear costumes. The only problem is going to be Burger City, the area in that lot, they're redoing. They're doing major construction there, so the parking, you got to park a little further away. It's even Burger City put up a commercial on Instagram saying, "Hey, we're not closed during this, even though they have all of our lot messed up. You can, we're still open, and they're still." And I suggest, if you're a burger person, not everybody is. They have really the best burgers and shakes, and it's real old school stuff. And the onion rings, very good. So tonight, that's a good thing to do if you're looking for something at about 6. Captree. So.
Sounds good. And you could bob for car parts.
I know. Yes, I know our friend Pat was at an event this morning. He sent the picture out. He was by you, our buddy Pat. He sent you the text. You were on the text string with me.
Yes, he did.
Of an old caddy. So I know he's out having some fun this morning. So that's good.
No, it's true. He's there's actually a function going on today in Fairfield.
Right.
He's got a club. Let me see if I can call it up real fast. Hold on a second.
Oh, so I didn't get to even finish the carburetors. It was Rick's. Then I got the Nova that came back in that I had sent over to Barry to be worked on. Barry called me to do the carburetor on that, so I did a 2-barrel for the Nova. And right on my bench today as we speak, I have a Carter AFB off a 65 Corvette. It's an original AFB with a leather accelerator pump.
Oh, wow. Really cool.
I had to order the kit from a guy online who's known, for quality. It was like a $50 kit, but, you got to pony up for these things because you got to get the right parts.
Did you order it from Mike's?
Actually, I did. Mike's Carburetor Parts. Yes.
That's I just ordered mine too for the Carter, for the AFV that I'm going to swap out on the Chrysler.
That would be in an AVS.
Is it a VS?
Well, no, it's in an AFB or an AVS, and then they have the newer.
Oh, AVS.
We went through this a couple weeks ago.
I know.
AFB is, so people don't know, is aluminum 4-barrel. AVS means air valve secondary.
Yes.
Which is actually how the AFB works too. It is working off it, but it's the same. They just changed.
That's the one I think I have. I have to remember it. It's around here somewhere. Your
carburetor probably starts with it's a 9,000 number, most likely. It is. This one is 3271 or 3721. It had a weird 4-digit number. When I looked it up, it did come up specifically to a 65 Corvette, so a 327. So it is the original.
Wow, that's cool stuff. But what I liked about Mike's rebuilding kits is that it's ethanol compliant.
Yes.
So I thought, ooh, that's pretty cool because, like you said, and I remember what we talked about, how a lot of carburetor kits are sitting on a shelf collecting dust for the last 30 years, and now you need it. Right. So you buy it, but the rubber product is 30 years old and it's going to snap in half the second you pull it out of the bag.
I learned something on his site, Mike's Carburetor. If you look at his website, there is a plethora of information. The technical pages alone, you can download manuals. So I was reading on the sheet that I downloaded for the AFB, again, because I read things, even if I know I know how to do it, I'll still read it because
of course
I just picked up a piece of information I didn't know. 2 things. He mentioned when you put the accelerator pump in, he likes you to put 2 drops of oil on the pump. Oil on the pump.
Why?
Kind of soften it. He says, don't soak it in oil because it'll swell it. Just 2 drops, and then as you work it in the bore tapers on the accelerator pump. It'll actually help it open and seal into the bore. And the other thing he said was, do not use, well, never use silicone on the gaskets, which I guess there are some knuckleheads who would, but also never spray WD-40 in the carburetor or on the gaskets. And
Oh, wow, really?
Because it negatively reacts with ethanol. And on Thursday night, I mentioned that we had Tyler on with us, and he got on I said, listen, I haven't had a chance to rectify this and see what the reason is. He goes, well, I'll look. And he Googles it and he says, yeah. And he got into the chemical makeup of it and said, yeah, it basically makes globs of like that globular mass of.
Oh, yeah. I used to find that a lot in the TR6 carburetors.
Exactly. So I said, okay,
Yeah.
so good. I just learned something off of Mike's carburetor parts. I'm going to, Mike did a bunch of videos. I follow him on YouTube now. The videos that you don't see him, you hear him. Sounds like an older man, but I am going to petition him and see if I can get him on here to talk about.
Oh, I'd love to talk to him.
Carburetor.
Definitely. Actually, John Whitehead has texted us at 203-670-4127. He says, how do you find ethanol compliant leather? He says, cows that drink a lot.
Good question, John. I don't know. I do know that I think what it was is the early carburetors didn't have as precise of a bore as they later had. So they used leather because it was more compliant to make the seal than rubber would be, or some kind of rubber product. That's how I understand it. If I'm wrong, maybe Mike's will correct me. I don't know. But the other thing that I know I'm not wrong about is the weather.
Tell us.
And yes, we do definitely have a weather forecast powered by Pantano's Gourmet with locations in Uniondale. As I look out the WHBC weather window,
What do you see, Ray?
It's a topless day. I drove in with the top down in the Fiat today. It was beautiful. It was a light winds, high of 71 today. Tonight it'll be cloudy skies with showers and a possible thunderstorm, lows of 59.
Mm-hmm.
It has been getting cold and dark earlier.
I know.
6:30. It's like,
what so
happened?
Depressed.
Yeah,
tell me about it.
Tomorrow will be partly cloudy, highs of 63, and again 48 tomorrow night, which is a little cool. And now I have to read this.
Uh-oh, what's that?
It's a biggie. Yes, it's a
okay.
WHPC has won the Best of Long Island Award for 4 years in a row. Count them.
Again?
Well, no, 4 in a row. This is the 5th year now that we're up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now the 4-leaf Best of Long Island Award voting is open for 2026.
And they're going to vote for us again like they do for the last 4 years, right?
Well, they won't. The people who vote will, and the 4-leaf doesn't care. So visit bestoflongisland.com or follow the link on the left side of the WHPC app that you should have downloaded. And you can vote once a day, every day, now through December 15th for HPC as the best radio station on Long Island. While you're there, please vote for Nassau Community College as the best college. Dr. Maria Conzati is the best college president, and Nassau Community College for the best sports program on Long Island. Thank you for supporting WHBC and Nassau Community College. And now what people have been waiting for, do we have an honor group of the hour?
And you can also vote for the best talk show that's not on the best talk show list here at WHBC, us. But anyway.
Yeah, I said that last week. Yeah, I throw in the best automotive show too because we don't get any love. So
none at all. None at all. And when we come back, I just want to bring, after we come back from the break, I'm going to read some safety recall mail.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, the Motormouth Radio Honor Group of the Hour is what you've been waiting for the last 2 weeks. I know you have. And this week, if you are inundated with car part catalogs from ordering a single car part, if you've ever noticed how you order one car part, just one, and suddenly your mailbox looks like a parts warehouse that has exploded. If you buy a gasket, let's say, next thing you know, catalogs from 10 different companies you've never heard of get sent to your house. These things show up like clockwork, thicker than a service manual, full of chrome accessories for trucks you don't even own. And they all think there's a race car being built somewhere in your driveway when all you wanted was that one gasket. And you can't just toss these catalogs because they're printed like fine art books, heavy, glossy, the kind that bend your mailbox door. Meanwhile, all of this started because you clicked buy now. So if you are trying to figure out what to do with the overflow of all of those car part catalogs sent to you in the mail, you are now part of the Motormouth Radio Wanna Group of the Hour.
You know what I say? Next time you go to a doctor's office, leave one at the doctor's office, leave another at the dentist's office, leave one at the veterinarian's. Wherever you go with that magazines, put one in the pile. Share the love.
That is a brilliant idea.
Don't think I haven't done that either. So with that, we'll take our bottom of the hour break. We'll be back with more Motormouth Radio with Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer.
And more mail.
And more mail right after this little break on 90.3 WHPC.
Oh yeah, did I mention that I'm 23 feet tall now? Maybe I forgot to tell you. It's been so long, you know how it gets when you feel you're getting larger and it's harder not to show it.
We'll be back with answers to your car questions. Give us a call at 516-572-7440. Oh, I should have said the Motormouth thing.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar lifetime nationwide warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593-0920 or online at celebritychasecollision.com.
Okay, Mark Warman here from Graveyard Cars, hanging out with my buddies at, what's the name of it again?
Motormouth Radio.
Hey, Mark Warman here from Graveyard Cars, hanging out with my friends at Motormouth Radio. Sunday morning, I don't know what this fat bald guy's laughing about. You'll forget stuff soon enough too, my friend. Be sure to listen. When are you guys on? 10 a.m.?
Sundays at noon.
Noon on Sundays.
Excellent. This was
No, that's you got the promo. For, the best one was the first one. That's why I was because you said what was the name of this again? That's the promo.
What better presentation could you do than that?
Hey, you, get over here. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, you are going to tune in to hear the Motormouths, my friends Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. 90.3 FM, WHPC. You might learn something.
It's like playing dog and mouse.
we're back, Motormouth Radio. Ray and Chris, 516-572-7440. Give us a buzz, but first, Chris is going to tell us about a recall, you said, right?
Recall.
All right, what do you got?
Notice
Lay
sent to
it
the
on.
house. Here we go. Important safety recall for my 2014 Ford Explorer utility.
Okay.
In some of the affected vehicles, it may be possible that some of the exterior A-pillar applique trim attachments are not properly engaged due to improper assembly or repair. If this occurs, the A-pillar applique trim, which borders the right and left side of the windshield, may be loose, missing, or become detached, Ray.
Oh,
Oh my God.
wow, what a problem.
Oh my gosh. They're going to try anything to get my car back into the dealer.
Yeah, right.
I'll say I'll glue it if it pops. I was actually going to try and pry it off to bring it in and hold it up, but it wouldn't come off.
Yeah, right. I'll tell you this. I've seen this happen at the shop, at the body shop. A lot of that stuff happens. And let's face it, the normal person, the average person in a car is not prepared to fix that, doesn't know how to do it, and would be dangerous if they tried. So, you know, that's why that stuff. Now, why it earns a recall when other things don't, like a lot of evap stuff. There's other things that I think should have recalls that don't. So,
Right.
I think that's the bigger question here.
I mean, it's nice to know that my car doesn't have major recall notices, because every time one of these shows up at the house, like my heart stops. It's like, you know, waiting for the transmission to fall out. You know, it's one of those things. And so you open it up and violently read it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It's a trim, a piece of trim that's going to fall off.
Right.
What's it going to do? So, you know, fall in front of my vision.
Well, you know, but if it did,
Over there.
if it did, and you crashed and you said, hey, part of the car fell, you know, then they're looking at lawsuits. They're going to say, hey, we're going to try to prevent that.
It's funny you should bring that up, because now you think to myself, the reason why these things exist is because maybe something like that actually happened.
Right. Well, could be. Very well could be. Yeah.
You know, someone is trying to
Hey.
claim that a trim applique fell in front of their field of vision and they crashed?
People used to not know McDonald's had hot coffee,
Oh, please.
right?
Yes, I
So
know.
there we go.
It started a whole.
So just to back up a couple topics, how did you find Mike's carburetor parts? I'm curious.
I did exactly what you probably did, is I went online.
Yeah, I had them. I had them. I had them bookmarked. 'Cause
Oh, okay.
I've
Well,
used
no,
them in the past.
the funny thing is, because I'm sure it was such a unique carburetor, an old carburetor, that it came up. But he was, I think, really, there wasn't a lot of choices.
This is what got
out
me to
there.
go back to Mike. The two barrel that I had to do was a Rochester 2GC two barrel, bread and butter off a 307 Chevy engine. So Barry, Barry says, "How do you want to do this?" He says, "Listen, you have the parts. You're hooked up with all the parts guys. Get the kit. You get the kit, and I'll pick it up and I'll do it." So when I got home and I was rebuilding it, of course, I ultrasonically cleaned it and all. And I opened the kit, and when I got time to putting it back together, I saw the gaskets were incorrect. Now, sometimes they give you two sets of,
Right.
so the Venturi size was wrong. Now, GM had two barrels. They had the smaller version, the smaller Venturi, and the larger, because on the most people know because of the tri-powers. The early tri-powers were all the small Venturi. Then in 65, the year of my Pontiac, it had a small center and two large outers.
Oh, okay.
In 66, they went to three large two barrels. So, but people forgot all about two barrels. They forgot that some of them were smaller with the lower performance engines, like
Sure.
these 307s. So I couldn't use the carburetor to intake gasket, the thicker one, because that was for the bigger bottom Venturi. From the bottom plate to the middle of the carburetor, that was too big. From the middle to the top, that was too big. Even the gasket that went in where the Venturi, where the squirters go in, was too big. So none of the gaskets, I couldn't use them. So I had to go down and see Barry. And he goes, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?" I said, "Here you go." I said, "Here are the original gaskets. Here are the replacements." I said, "You can see that the replacements are too big." I said, "We got to do one of two things. You're either going to have to get another kit." And I said, "They may gig you and not want you to return this kit because it's been opened." I said,
Right.
"But I had to open it to find out that it was wrong,
Right, sure.
So I said, or the other thing is the gaskets that came off this carburetor were absolutely pristine. They didn't stick. They didn't rip. It was the cleanest gasket removal I've ever done. And I said,
Really?
I could probably reuse these gaskets. And he said to me, "Well, what do you think? Would you do that?" I said, "If this was for my own car, yeah, I would reuse these because they're absolute. I don't even see like a nick. They came off so perfect, and the carburetor was very clean. Besides that, so he said, "Okay, let's do it." Well, I did. Brought the carburetor back. They put it on, and the car ran fine. So we dodged a bullet on that one.
Is there any way to treat a gasket that, like you say, in this condition, you have a pristine gasket, you've pulled off a clean carburetor, but you want to make sure, I mean, yes, you put it back on, don't get me wrong, and it worked well. The story is a success story. But is there some way you can treat that gasket, like dip it in something, maybe to swell it a little bit just to
Well,
hedge your bets?
I think if you take it out to a nice restaurant, maybe get
Take
like
it
a
to the
dish,
zoo.
maybe get like a dish of Permatex. And you can maybe dab a little on, or maybe give it a little
Drop
bit.
a
No, you
little
don't treat a gasket with anything.
a little caressing.
Yeah, no. And sometimes they get very hard and dried out. These were not like that.
Like you at times.
That's right, just like me. They already had the lines embedded in them from where the pieces screwed together.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe swell them up a little bit,
So the reason I went to Mike's specifically,
make them warm and supple like me.
Yeah, there you go. The reason I went to Mike's specifically is because on this AFB, it's an early AFB. And I know they have smaller Venturis than the later AFBs and AVSs. And I wanted to make sure I got the correct gasket sizes. And I trust that Mike's will have that. So that's why I went with him and not with an off-the-shelf kit from the auto parts store. I said, I think he'll be more in tune with the peculiarity or the specificity of that carburetor. And I think that's what we have to do now, because when I go to the local auto parts store and can't get a base gasket, he didn't have a carburetor kit if I needed one. So,
Right.
And this one, and Barry even gave these guys the number off the carburetor, the correct number, which should have gotten them right into the correct kit, but it didn't. So let's go and do this. Let's go to the phones and say, hi, caller, you're on with the Motor Mouths.
Hello, Ray. Hello, Chris. Welcome back, Chris.
Hey, John.
Thank you, John.
Oh my God. The whole gasket thing, I did a lot of small engine repairs. And what you were going through with, a full-size car carburetor trying to get a gasket, there's a guy that I've watched, and he got a laser cutter.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with that tool, yeah.
He does small engine stuff like I did. But
right.
He takes a picture of, like, the intake off, whatever engine he's working on, and you have way more experience that you can put it into a CAD and the laser just spits the thing out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
We were talking about that Thursday night. I was talking with Lewis. Lewis needed to make an adapter for his horn ring for his schoolie bus, and he 3D printed it. And I said, there's a lot of times I could use a 3D printer for things. I know Paul has one. I said, but I really haven't made that leap yet into doing it. So we spoke about the technology. And then when Tyler came on and we were talking about the, what the heck were you talking about with Tyler? I was talking about something with Tyler. I just mentioned it before. Oh, the WD-40. No, right. He goes, yeah, he 3D prints a lot of stuff too. And he says, yeah, the thing I really want to get is a laser cutter. And I said, yes. Oh my God, that could be. Yeah. But now it's another outlay in money. And of course you need space for that tool. But yes, John, you're correct. That with a laser cutter, it's like having a water jet machine for metal,
Yeah. Well,
phenomenal.
You've got to have the, I guess, quantity of usage is really the.
Well, I found out Paul has a laser cutter too. So you know what? I have enough friends with him. I don't have to buy one anymore. I'm just going to go and mooch off of them. Thanks, Paul. I forgot about that.
Like boats, pools, and a bunch of other things. It's nice to have one. It's better to have a friend that has one.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, but then again, there's nothing like having. I mean, listen. We all use our friend network to borrow things and lend things, and that's fine. I'm all in with that. But it's just nice to be able to go over and have it at your disposal in your shop. But not everybody can't have everything. I mean, maybe one or two guys do, but I would venture to say those guys don't use it.
I'm sure Elon Musk could, but he probably doesn't do carburetors.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Those guys, they could have it, but they probably wouldn't use it. So, whatever. But yeah, good idea, John. I like it.
I hear you, and I looked up, the laser cutters for what you'd probably use it for, or is under $200.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Oh, send me a link. I'm the old school. Me and Chris, I work the way Chris does. I have I have a couple sets of hole punch sets, and I have an X-Acto knife, and I do them by hand.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yeah. I kind of like that. I kind of like sitting there, and as the cigar smoke is coming up and getting in my eyes, because I'm like, oh my God, give me another drink. It's like,
Yeah, but you need a set of punches to punch the holes out for the bolts.
Well, as I said, I have two sets of hole punches. Right. I don't think I have them small enough to go down to like number 6 or 8, thread screws. Yeah. I don't have that small, but whatever.
And
I have a nice pick.
And do a Mr. Whoopi set the Wayback Machine when you were talking about Mike's
carburetor. Uh-huh.
And I went, I can remember, back when I had my MG.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Google came to life in like 1988.
Okay.
Yeah, close.
There were a bunch of search engines, but
I was using Netscape back then.
Nothing like there is today where you could go, I need carburetor parts for an MG.
Right.
And I found, and I looked them up before I called in, Joe Curto.
Yes, Joe Curto. Yes.
Joe Curto.
The thing is, though, you put in now, carburetor kits
Love
for
Joe.
MGs, and the first 5 listings are AI saying the MG was created by so and so in England. Like, I don't care about the history. I want the freaking carburetor kit.
Right, exactly. Don't give me the fluff. Don't care.
Put the AI up your AI. Yeah.
Yeah, I think MG and Maserati both came out of guys that built tractors.
Okay. I know Mazda was a cork company. They made corks originally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
but I was thinking back, and I went, "Yep, Joe Curto."
Yeah.
And I thought back because they didn't have Google and all of that back in the day.
No.
I got on what was called a listserv back in the day.
Yes. And because of that, I went to see Joe Curto when he was in College Point.
That's when I remember Joe.
Yep.
He's still there.
Is he? Okay, I thought he moved. Okay.
Yeah.
No, he's still in Queens somewhere, but
okay, all right.
I did as I said, the way back, and I went, I went on the listserv, and it was all MG people, and I went, I need carburetor parts, and everybody blasted me back with Joe Curto.
That's how I bought a lot of Pontiac parts back then. It was a listserv run out of a college in the Midwest, and it shut down in the summer because the guy was off. So it picked up again in September. It was like, but it was a listserv site. Yes, correct.
It's funny. We got a text. We got a text from Hey Maco Man Brian at 203-670-4127. He said, "We're old school. A box of Fruit Loops and your hole puncher and an active knife." And he clarified the reason why you need a box of Fruit Loops is for the cardboard.
Okay.
Cardboard was a perfect thickness.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Thank you, Brian.
no doubt. Like, that skill set has long sailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. My younger daughter, maybe because she's a designer and she did stuff like that, she picks up on it because I've seen her do projects like that, and I've kind of helped her along like that with some stuff, and so there are some younger people who do, but they have to be kind of in that realm, I guess. So it all isn't lost yet, John.
Yeah, but back in the day, we were all in that realm, whether we wanted to be or not.
Well, no, you know what? I have to disagree to a point because out of all my friends, I mean, I know I had a couple guys who actually ran shops and they would rebuild a carburetor, but their rebuild was basically just swapping parts and calling it a day. I was the only one out of all of them to this day who really goes in and really rebuilds them and does all the adjustments and takes all the measurements. And that's why I'm still successfully doing it, because I found it was a passion of mine. The other guys are just slapping parts together and throwing it out the door. And, so I don't know. It is what it is. But,
speaking of carburetors, before I forget, I texted you that aluminum brightener.
I did get a bottle. Barry got me a bottle from a Napa store. So I have a quart of aluminum brightener. And I know why it works, because I read the fine print. It's got phosphoric and sulfuric acid in it.
Burning the aluminum.
And they say do not use on anything clear coated or anything chrome because it'll kill the finish. But on any raw aluminum, it will get into the pores and it will brighten it. And I've yet to test it, but I have a bottle sitting on my workbench, John.
That's going to be a great topic for another show.
Actually, right. And one of the guys on Thursday night said he thinks that I could get that at a good Ace Hardware. In fact, so
they sell aluminum brightener. There's a bazillion different brands, like with everything.
Right.
But I've never tried it.
Well, like I said, I would use it on this AFB, but the carburetor is in such good shape and clean, it doesn't need it. So I have to take one of my old ones out of stock and do like a half and half test.
The only reason that I would even think of using it, and if you keep your engine compartment clean, and I'm maniacal, it all gets like that white, crust on it.
Well, in the engine compartment, what I found was Purple Power or the other one. The one that Brian always sends me, I always forget, with the purple label. That you just spray that stuff on and basically let it sit a few minutes, and then you hose it off. And the plastic looks beautiful. Super Clean. Yeah, Super Clean or Purple Power. Works great on all the plastic.
Aluminum parts were.
Aluminum is a little different, yes.
Yeah. That's where I'd be curious, because it all becomes like oxidized.
You know, I'd be a little careful about spraying the engine with those parts on it, because you are spraying phosphoric and sulfuric acid, even though it is diluted. And, you know, if that gets into a wiring harness, a connector, boy, it could really. Now everything under the car, new car is weather pack, so, but still, there's the possibility. So you want to be very careful.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not talking like flooding the engine compartment, but selectively going. Yeah. It'd be nice to see this a little bit brighter looking.
Yeah. No, that's it's a good case to try it on. So, you know, actually, my Impala, the water pump is aluminum. Maybe I'll try it on that car, because that pump has got all that freckling, that white oxide freckling on it, because it was untreated aluminum. Yeah.
And you know, that would be a good case test.
I will try it, and you know what? I might even try it this afternoon. How's that? I got a fresh.
Do that, I may drive by to watch.
I got a fresh sampler pack of Acid cigars. It's a perfect name, right? They're made by Acid, which is out of Brooklyn. Drew Estate Cigars. They're great, but the Acid company, they're out of Brooklyn. They make some really good cigars, and I got this really cool sampler pack. So maybe I'll fire one of those babies up this afternoon and start spraying the acid all over everything.
I'll come by. I'll smoke the acids and watch you spray it.
All right, I got the cigar. You bring the coffee.
You got it, my friend.
All right, John.
You guys have a great rest of the day, and yeah, it's a top-down day.
You got it. I will
wear something flimsy, John.
All right, John.
You got it.
All right.
Thanks.
So look.
Bye-bye.
Yes, he is right. But yeah, you know, I did. I forgot to mention that Barry did. I was talking to Barry about that, because I asked him. I said, "Do you have a Napa store that you deal with? I know there's one around, but I never get there." And he was able to get me a bottle of that fluid when I picked the carburetor up. So that was good. So now I can test it and see. Because you know, when I do carburetors, some of them are a lot older, and they're just the aluminum is just discolored. You've seen that it gets dark, like a dark gray color. And, you know, just real crappy looking. And I think I watched the guy, John watches them too on YouTube. He does VW carburetors, and he used the aluminum brightener. It just came up, you know, phenomenally. Just gorgeous.
There used to be a Napa store on Hicksville Road, right north of where Hicksville Road and 135 come together, I think.
That one is, I believe, still there.
Yeah, Hicksville Road, and I'm trying to think what goes into it.
But I don't get up that way all that
Avenue.
often. Yeah, I don't get up that way all that often. So yeah, but that is the closest one. You're right. So we the guest that I thought was going to come in today didn't again. So
we were talking to ourselves the whole hour,
following the tradition of trying to get this guy on. I see we're following our tradition. Maybe next week we'll have Evan on from Time to Shine, because his polishing stuff. You want to talk about polishing? Oh my word! Look up Time to Shine, and you'll find Evan has a YouTube channel. I don't think that's the name of his YouTube channel, though, but I think if you search for it, you'll find it. He polishes a lot of big rig stuff, all the big rig Alcoa wheels and whatnot. Ooh,
yes, I still have his product sitting on a shelf. I'm planning on using it very soon before the weather gets a little surly, just so you know the cars are protected pretty much. And it's basically I think I told you the headlight cover on the Mazda was the coating had flaked off the top of the headlight cover, starting on the passenger side too. So I'm gonna have to do that. It's one of those things. So just get the kit and start sanding.
So what do we tell the people trying to take my headlight covers out of the parking lot today? What do I tell them?
Don't follow us home unless you're wearing something flimsy.
You got it. So for Chris Switzer, Ray Guarino, we'll be back with more Motormouth Radio next week. Stay tuned for Kim and Thunder Road, Best of Springsteen and the bunch, because we know you love them more than you love us. And we'll see you next week on 90.3 WHPC.
See you, bye.